As you can see, we are in part of the Oloolua forest, and immediately we entered on this trail. As you can see, we have a walking trail. We just found this heap of garbage, a mixture of all manners of kinds of garbage. You can see plastic bottles, you can see a lot of other stuff, even beer bottles are here. Actually household waste, household waste. This comes from houses. You can see some hairs, I mean, like maybe from a salon or something like that. See a lot of campus now becoming a big and a huge menace. And I think we need to think about it, because they are quite a menace, a big problem, and they don't rot. And as you can see, all manners, we have like construction waste, the bags, the cement bags are there, and of course they don't rot. And most of this waste here, what we are seeing, most of this waste is not biodegradable, it's not degradable. All you can see is plastic here. And if you look through these bushes, you can see there is a river down there, which is like 10 meters away. And when you try to think about this waste, if it stays here for quite some time, we know what the waste develops and produces what we call leachate. And that leachate is very highly toxic and contaminates the ground as well as surface and groundwater. And so, what do you think will happen here? After the rains, the leachate will be carried on into the river, and the downstream people, who are mostly farmers and herders, their cows will be drinking water contaminated by the leachate from this site, and others, maybe others. And also those who are growing vegetables, they also be growing with water contaminated by the leachate from this source. And so you can see that cycle. It will come back to us if we cannot be able to manage our own waste from houses, ends up here and returns back to us in another way. This is very harmful. This is the river. Here it seems there was another one that some people, there are some guys here. By the way, we are very thankful that KFS has allowed us to organize a group of youth. We call them the Scouts. We have 5 from this side of Gataka. This is the Gataka side of the forest. We have 5 in the other side of Orokeri. And they've been really trying on a volunteer basis. No one is paying them, and they are doing a commendable job. However, we were doing it informally. Now we want to formalize it. Say like every after 14 days, we have a thorough cleanup of the specific areas that we're gonna map out. There's a river here. This river also, this is the one that comes from Bulbul there. Up there it's called Enchoremune. Here it's called Kadisi. And of course, as you can see, it's not as clean as it is to be. And we are having plans for it. We have a user group called The Water. We are having a big conversation about how to make this river better and prevent pollution, because there's a lot of pollution up there. People are releasing their liquid effluent into this stream, and so we want it habitable, where even life in this water can return back. If you look at the formation of these rocks, you can be able to tell, even without much hydrology or water specialists, you can see that there was a stream, or there is a stream which we can call a seasonal sometimes. But through this path, you can see that there was a stream, and maybe probably a spring somewhere springing up from behind those trees here in this forest. That is why it is important to conserve this particular forest, the Oloolua forest. Remember also, we are talking about trees cover, the 10% by year 2020. And this can only be achieved by first protecting what we already have. We cannot achieve the 10% just by planting new trees, but also protecting what we have. We don't want a situation where we have people coming into the forest, cutting trees and not replacing them. However, this is a gazetted forest, you are not allowed even to enter here to cut any vegetation. And as you can see, different varieties of trees are here. You can see even these many flowers, nice ones. Yeah, you know, hot poker, we call it. As you can see the trees, the branch. The trees can tell you. If you look around, you can tell. Those are the oaks, the muhogo trees. And these are targeted by wood covers. They are targeted by people. This high value tree we are seeing here, which is targeted in this forest. There was a time in this forest there was huge outcry for the cutting of those trees. But now we thank, as we said before, that now we have a proper constituted CFA that is will overlook over this forest to see that no more cutting of these trees, and a solid conservation plan will be put into place. You can see here we have this kind of species of aloe vera, and by coincidence today, every other product, beauty products, and other hair balls, they are using aloe vera, like beauty. Nowadays I even see soap made of aloe vera, creams for they are facing anti-aging made of aloe vera, and you can see it's quite plenty in this forest. So this is also a hub of herbal research. You can see as you enter through the forest, you can see now old stumps being cut. And this is an oak tree, which we call it here in our local language, the muhogo tree. Very valuable. And those many years ago, this muhogo tree is part of the gun. The butt of the gun, the wooden butt of the gun, is made from this tree. This is a gem of this forest. It's a gem because not in many forests you'll find this kind of stuff. And research has not been done. What's the actual value of this tree? In actuality, we know trees are very, very valuable. Trees can sink, carbon worth even 6 million Kenya shillings in its lifetime for 50 years. And a tree like this is older than 50 years. This tree is older than 50 years. So it beats senses, like somebody can come here senselessly, cut a tree older than 70 years to sell a piece of it to somebody for 1,000 bob. It doesn't make any sense, And this is even more. An elephant lives between 60 to 80 years, around there. It's called poaching. It's a serious crime. Why should somebody coming to cut a tree like this, which is older than an elephant? It's older than 80 years. Why should it be treated like it's nothing? You are taken to court, you are fined 20,000, taken to prison for 3 months, for a 80 years old? Surely? Is it fair? This is the beauty of this forest. You can see how manners of, this is a kind of a mushroom. And, this is quite foreign in a forest like this. This is foreign. This one to us is an invasive species. And for us, this one has to, in one of these days, it has to be removed. You can see now there, it has started spreading. And by the time it is not, if it is not stopped, it can suffocate all these areas. And this is not quite well. It is not for, it is designed for, it's a big mess in the dry areas.
So how did they get here? Is it a natural or is it dumped?
No, it's not natural. This is brought by either by birds or by animals or by the floods. It could have been brought by the flooding river, which is just 30 meters away. It could have been brought that way. Droppings maybe by birds if they ate some of the fruits. But very more the floods could have carried, because if you go much further up, also to a vet farm, you'll find these species up there. They are not species for this forest. So they are not indigenous here. They are quite foreign and they are invasive and they shouldn't be here. And I think I'm happy to see that we have another job added to our duty roster.
So what is the danger of having this plant here?
Right now it spreads. it spreads, and it doesn't have much use. It doesn't have much use. The animals will not eat it, birds will not eat it as much, and as you can see, it's quite thorny. They haven't quite discovered the value. Also, they are making pulp out of it. In parts of Samburu, they are making pulp out of it. Of course, because of they are trying to kind of discover what it is. But most for us, right here, it's not useful. This is an acacia, the yellow, we call it yellow fever, acacia. And as you can see from the size, I can't even, my hands cannot even, you see? This is a huge tree, and this is many years, 60, 70, 80, according to acacia life. This is huge. This is what we must recover. You see, all this waste is brought by the river. So this waste comes all the way from Buruburu, maybe Ngong, maybe even from Gong, Bulbul. All this waste is coming here, deposited here. And as you can see, what we need now to plan for, as we are now, this Saturday we are launching the program for cleanups in the forest. We want to see in the next 1 year, we want to see this forest clean, sparkling clean, where people can come, enjoy. We can put up some seats here where people can come, read their books, have their time, romantic times along these places, without seeing this kind of garbage or waste.
Or people who are hiking, how safe is it for them?
We have been here now for almost 30 minutes, and as you can see, it's only us, and we don't feel like threatened. We can enhance that, and that is why we are having the program for having scouting, community scouts, and very soon we are going to have them trained. They are going to be uniformed. They are going to be all over this forest. So whenever visitors are coming, and then they can choose, do you want to be accompanied by scouts? And we want to know where they are, so that for their own safety. We want it to be a very organized place. We don't want people to feel like they are threatened when they go there. They will be attacked by unknown people and so on. We want to man the entrances of these gates. We want to know who comes in and who goes out, and what he brings in and what he takes in, so that we don't have people bringing waste and others cutting trees and taking away. And also, you know, we got the Acacia arabica that has the gum. This gum is very valuable, you know, to make sense, especially in the Middle East countries. And you can farm acacia for the purposes of harvesting the arabica gum. So you see, it's valuable. It is also a highly valuable medicinal plant. I have seen people taking it because of other ailments. And yes, more research should be done so that we know what's the value of each tree in this forest, so that we can be able to not just quantify, but also to monetize our forest and say our forest is worth these many trillions.